Hello and welcome to the Business Demo. In today's podcast we will keep it brief and short. So today is all about fashion marketing and the trends I have seen in marketing for the fashion industry in the last couple of years. As you all know, guerrilla marketing was a very big strategy, but it isn't used in the same way anymore. Back then, in 2012, 2016, around that area, between 2010 and 2016, I think that's the appropriate reason. We had a lot of marketing happening on guerrilla techniques, and guerrilla techniques were widely used. So you had people going up to the streets with their new fashion trends and talking about all of this. So, for instance, DKNY, they used to shoot in New York, in Seoul, in Antwerp, etc. They put some models into their new clothing lines and they sent them to the streets to talk about it and to show it off to the people. Of course, it wasn't really the only purpose. They also invited press so that everything was as one combination. But guerrilla marketing has changed. Nowadays, guerrilla marketing isn't done on the clothing anymore, but more on the branding. And then we are talking about, let's say, for instance, Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton, they always do this. And how they do it is they make new outside visuals for their stores. For instance, when a store is under construction, they do a Louis Vuitton theme just to make everything cohesive, to make it Louis Vuitton. And it's also a form of guerrilla marketing, because guerrilla marketing is bringing marketing to the streets, to pop up in the eyes of people. So that's guerrilla marketing techniques. What else does the fashion industry do? Well, e-commerce, influencer marketing. Influencer marketing is a very huge thing. Like if you look at Dior, they have as brand ambassador Jisoo from Blackpink. You also have other K-pop artists nowadays that are joining in on the fashion industry. So there's a lot happening on that scene. And yes, I said K-pop artists, because if we look closely, it are mostly K-pop artists. It are not the artists we are used to see. For example, if you're in Europe, you would think that Coldplay or something might join in. But no, they don't have any brand collaborations that I know of with any famous fashion house. But K-pop artists, they do. Same with J-pop and Chinese pop. So they join in, and because they have such a huge following, they bring it together with the following of the brand and they create a cohesive story. Now that we have talked about the major things within fashion industry, it also makes that the marketeer needs to be aware of trends. A marketeer looks at trends happening in the market, happening towards the customers, and happening, well, in general in the industry. So, for me as a marketeer, how I stand in the fashion industry is I have always been fascinated by it. And a reason for that is because I design myself. I have a few sketches here that I can show you in a minute that are designed purely based on one person. For this, I took Bunny Lee, which is a very good acquaintance and friend of mine, and I sketched her in 7 dresses. 7 dresses, 1 per day. So we have the casual dresses, we have the fashion chic, as I call it, that's evening dresses, gala, etc. And we have the more, how should I say it, casual chic that you just wear everywhere. To start off with the casual chic, I have Parisian Dreams. So Parisian Dreams is inspired by Paris. As you can see, we have the bow tie here, we have the Chanel inspired look on the vest and on the skirt. It is a casual chic outfit that you can wear almost everywhere and still look businesslike. So it has the flirty, the young feeling, but it also shows maturity on the other hand, and it also lets us show the impact of what fashion can do. Fashion is body language. And that brings us to the next one. If you want a strong look, I went for military themed dress code here. So this needs to be white, but since my sketches are done on white, I used silver just to have a contrast. This green is also a bit too dark. You must think of it as a khaki green, a military khaki green, with bronze accents, and it shows the strong-willedness of the person. That's the dream for this outfit. It shows a strong-willed woman who can do what she wants. That's the only thing that's behind this sketch. For the next one, I actually got inspired by old designs that were used in fashion industry, and I incorporated them into a new trend. It's a black and white dress, and I call it timeless elegance, because it is elegant, you can wear it everywhere, and yeah, it's just amazing. It is inspired on modern dress design, but with touches of the past. Think 80s, think 90s, things like that. For the next one, I actually went a bit on the royal theme. So I brought in a bit of gold, a bit of blues, and I did a dress design with gold accent, a gold brush. Then we went with a dark blue blazer to put on top of it. So think of this as Prussian blue together with a royal blue as a blazer and a sky blue as a dress, with a little accent in there for teal to do the accent line on the waist. And now we come with the less casual attire and more event attire. So the first one I did was actually this. It is inspired by Bali. It is all in teal tints, and it is just a floral design. Something you can wear when you go on vacation, when you want to go to a party and show that you're a citizen of the world. Another one is Oriental Fuchsia. So I went with, inspired by the Cheongsam from Korea, and I also took a little bit of accent details from the Chinese dresses, and I put fuchsia on it because fuchsia is a bit together with what is happening right now, the spring blossom. So I combined all of that into a new Oriental theme design. That's also a dress you can wear to occasions, but it's also cool to wear on a normal day. But now it's the last, and it's a gala dress, so don't be shocked. I call it modern imperial floral. And the reason I call this is because we have floral designs in here to accentuate. And purple was always an imperial color from the days of Roman imperial times till now. Every royal person has purple in their collection. It shows classiness, it shows elegance, it shows wealth. And that's why I made this design. You also have the long shoulder here. The reason for that is it shows strong-willedness, it shows regality. And this is something you need, a regal vibe, when you go to an event. Now, I showed you 7 designs of mine. Why did I do this? Because I want to know your feedback. Should I, in the future, start a fashion design company together with a marketing company or not? Of course, these are plans for the future. I'm not talking 5 years, I'm talking more in the light of 10 years. And it's mostly because I decided to stay creative as a marketer. Now, this was my little podcast about the fashion industry, trends happening in it, what fashion marketing is, and how one person can inspire a full design for clothing. Know this, today we are customer-centric. This was done in mind of one customer. So imagine the possibilities if companies start doing this on a global scale. That customers come in, they do a profile check, and they design or redesign dresses based on the ideals of that person and their needs. It's all in the future. Nobody knows if this even will happen or if this will work, but I think it will. It's the marketing of the future. For next week's podcast, we are going to talk about ChatGPT. What are the downfalls of ChatGPT? What are the good points in ChatGPT? And yeah, something that happened that was a huge mistake on a corporate end. I hereby end this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time in the business layer. Welcome to the Business Devil. If you don't know me, my name is Robbie Chances, and I am your podcast host. See ya.